Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, let's pull up this screen. Florida is losing its fan base. You got to be kidding, right? No, it's actually happening. And all you volunteer fans out there, don't get upset. I know that upsets you to hear such a thing. But we're going to get into this. This is on Gators Wire, USA Today. It's a Gators website. It says, Florida Gators among fastest shrinking fan bases in college football. There's a picture of them. They're not happy. Said times are tough for Gator Nation as two of the big three sports have struggled in recent years. In particular, the football program has suffered a pair of consecutive sub-500s, going 6 and 7 the last 2 years. Hadn't been done since 78 and 79. So it's not even a coaching change could help the hapless orange and blue as the Gators traded in a dull Dan Mullen for a shiny new Billy Napier ahead of 2022. Fans are still disgruntled after a losing season. It says a sports marketing firm known as SBR Net recently did a study on the fastest shrinking fan bases in college football, with Florida making the top or bottom, if you prefer, 10 schools coming in at number 6. The Gators have seen a minus 26%, 552,000 fan reduction in their fan base, according to data. Also included on the list are the Auburn Tigers, Iowa Hawkeyes, Washington State, Kansas, etc. Oh, there's Notre Dame, Texas Longhorns. Now, I covered Florida the other day, and I was telling you about their quarterback situation, which is bad. I mean, it's just not a good situation at all. I think they're going to be relying on Graham Mertz, the guy out of Wisconsin. And, his percentage completion rate's not high, and he throws a lot of interceptions. So I'm kind of surprised they're not, I know they're in the portal trying to find a quarterback, but at this time of year, it gets tough. It's usually guys that aren't going to be starters, and they're kind of disgruntled, so they're looking for something sort of last second. It's kind of like shopping at Christmas on the 24th. There's not a lot of good stuff in the stores. So unfortunately for the Gators, they couldn't be going much worse for them. But, look, I'm not going to feel sorry for them because I promise you this, when we show up down there in Gainesville, they're going to be on fire for us. They always play their very best game against us. So, don't feel any sympathy for them because I'm telling you, they're going to be coming for us when we play them this fall. But here's a guy that I like to go to if I want to see what's going on with Florida. And they've actually had a couple of key players that are transferring out, and let's see what he has to say about that.
Here's how I look at it. And again, I'm going to kind of take a look at this as a glass half full as much as I can. This one sucks. There's no way around it, right? You really can't try to spin it, but I'm going to do as best I can. What sucks about it is, again, it's the depth situation. And even connecting to Colorado, it is tough right now to keep depth on. And if Hendo at any point felt that, hey, my job is in jeopardy, these young guys are going to come in and maybe by game 6, 7, I'm going to be fighting for a starting role. And this offense doesn't really look as high up octane as I need it to be for me to have success to go on to that next step because it's going to be run heavy for this first year while it's transitioning, then I have to go with it and do what's best for me. And I think we have to understand that, and that's why that transfer portal is beneficial for these kids because now you can take the advantage, right, of what's happening and go capitalize on that. Again, it sucks for Florida because we're losing a great wide receiver, we're losing depth, but these kids got to take care of themselves. They got to eat. Look.
Yeah, they lost 2 players to transfer portal. One's a high-end wide receiver, and another one, I believe, is an offensive tackle. So they lost a couple of key players, and I don't know. Look, things aren't looking good in Florida. If you don't have a good quarterback and you don't have really good prospects, that's not a good place to be in the SEC. This is not the ACC or out west, okay? You've got to be at the very top at quarterback, and you'd better be good all the way down. Otherwise, you're going to struggle mightily. And you saw what happened with Florida when they lost Anthony Richardson and didn't have him in the bowl game. They couldn't score. As upset as Florida was with Richardson, he was keeping them in ball games. He played great against us, threw for over 400 yards, ran for 1,000,000 yards, and they still lost. And then they went against Oregon State, and they couldn't score a touchdown, literally couldn't score a touchdown. They got beat 30-something to 6 or 30. It might have been 3. I don't. They couldn't do anything. So they got a problem. And if you don't have a good quarterback or at least some prospect that looks good, it's no bueno. And I think that's why the fan base is kind of turning on them a little bit. You lose 500,000 fans, that's not so good. Now, granted, Florida can come back from this. There's no question they can, but I don't know if Billy Napier can bring them back or not. And I've heard he's a really nice guy, And I'm sure he is. But just because you're a nice guy doesn't mean you're a great SEC coach. You could be great in other conferences, but in the SEC, you're going up against the very, very top. And if you're not right there, you're either winning or you're losing. You know, I think Ricky Bobby said it best.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm talking about?
So we'll see how this plays out this fall, but I don't know about Florida. And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover the Vols and all our opposing teams that we go up against in the SEC and all that stuff. And if you're not subscribed, it's right here on the left. Just hit that little button. Cost you nothing. I would appreciate it. And right over here is my most recent video. And it's really a shame because I love visiting Florida. That's where I always vacation. But, man, that team gets to me, man. It gets to me. Anyway, I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.